Well, happy Thursday, everyone. I'm going to do a 15 by 30 already pre-gessoed black canvas. I purchased this from Wholesale Art and Frames, and they paint it black a couple times. We're going to be using the Rezin Art product. I already have my jar top off. Sorry to not have it here in the label. We're using the Rezin Arte epoxy paint. It comes in what looks like a dry powder form, but trust me, this is not your mama's mica pigments. These are actually ground color and minerals mixed together, milled in such a way that we didn't need to use like the typical pastes and turpentines that most companies have been using in the past. Okay, each of these cups have about 4 ounces in them. This is a little taster spoons. These are these 3-inch taster spoons I got at the restaurant supply. They're real small and they're flat and they hold about 1/8 of an ounce. Technically, you're supposed to use about the recommended color portions for the Rezin Art is 1/8 of a teaspoon per ounce. Like I said, these are 5-ounce cups and they're about 4 ounces high each. But I did put 2 heaping teaspoons in here, so it should be enough. And I want you to see how quickly they mix. I have to do this. I know my other regulars have already seen me mix. You guys can get past this point. Even though I'm going to do some custom colors here, you may want to wait. But for those of you that have never worked with a product, our material is blended in such a way that it disperses instantly in your resin. Okay, instantly. This next color is Fantasy Fuchsia. It's a hot rhodamine pink. Let's see, make sure we're still in camera here. I know I did that close up. I'm going to do 2 heaping on that one too. See how close we can stay here so you can see this. Now, this is a rhodamine violet, but it's in a blue mica, like interference blue mica. If you guys watched me do the Bling It Mica introduction, I meant. So the base of it has a shimmering blue in it. You'll see that when I mix it up. Sorry, I had to pick that up. It weighs a little bit now. 4 ounces weighs a little bit more. Not sure how much the camera's picking up that blue. It'll probably be more visible on the canvas as it pours out. Let me pan out so you guys can see what I'm doing. Get these guys covered up here. Okay, oh, I put that away too quickly because I'm going to make a lighter shade of Fantasy Fuchsia. Now, if a color is really saturated, and this has a lot of color in it, instead of making the color, sorry, this has a little bit too much resin. I don't think I'm gonna need as much of this color. Instead of making the color and then keep trying to add the interference to lighten it like I did the blue moon in that video, you could do it in reverse and put in the mica. I'm gonna put in a couple heaping spoons of interference blue because I know that has a lot of interference blue in it, right? Oops. Then I'm going to add some, maybe 1/2 spoon of the fuchsia to this. Okay, let me get this off the table. And then to continue down the line so I don't knock these over, I am using the Mystery Gold. Sorry, it's in a lab sample right now, but my production manager, she said, you know, this still looks a little antique. I said, okay, I'll give that to you. So I'm going to put a couple scoops of the Mystery Gold in there. But I'm also going to show you if you think for some reason that your gold is a little antique, you can take some of the Interference Gold. I'm looking for it here on my table. And just add a pinch and don't add much. This stuff's pretty strong. I did a piece where I did 50-50 Dragon Gold, which is even darker than this, and it came out almost like a white gold. So, but I'm going to show you. I can lighten this slightly, just so you can see it. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the end of my spoon. Kind of the opposite of what we did here. Here we had the two big scoops of the interference and I put a little bit of color. Here I've got my 2 nice scoops of the gold. And I'm just adding a little interference to lighten it. And because we have the new Bling It, just so you guys can take a look, this is what the interference looks like. This is what the Bling It Gold looks like. This stuff is crazy on camera. We're going to add a little bit of bling to our gold, okay? And I have a technique in mind, call me crazy. I think I'm going to drizzle a little bit of clear with the Bling It Gold over some tops of areas to get some special effects. And not so much for the gold. I don't know if you watched the first few videos that I did, but dropping clear on certain areas that have cells create like a marbleizing effect. Hopefully this is not a waste for me to do this. I'm also going to be using Stone Coat Black. Because my canvas is black, because I have a tendency to use too much of this stuff. It makes great cells, it makes a beautiful black background, but I don't want to overuse the stone coat. I had a tendency in the beginning to be too heavy-handed, thinking I needed enough to paint my canvas from white to black, and there was so much in there, it made cells, and then it was gobbling up the color. So the last one I did, I spray painted the canvas. This happens to be a black canvas. Now I'm going to add more resin to this because this still looks like, yeah, I'm getting heavy-handed here. That's enough. That's more than enough. Get that covered up. And make sure you cover up your stone coat well and try really hard not to drizzle any paint over the edges. It can get stuck real easy. This stuff is precious and I absolutely love it. I also, for my white, I'm using the Aluminite white. It's a type of ink. Works really well. That's the one I know I'm going to need a little bit more of. Because my white area is going to be a little bit bigger than the black around the edges. Squeeze some of that in. Okay, well I know this is not that exciting watching me mix the white. You just need enough in there to give you some kind of coverage, make it semi-opaque. Because resin dries in, it's viscous and it's going to, by very nature, give you layers. And this is what I had to learn. I don't need that much color in that black and white to have it be black and white on my canvas. Let's mix up some of just the straight Bling It. Curious to see what this is going to look like by itself, just straight in the resin. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera very much. My lights seem to be having fun with this color. Oh dear, it's coming across so clear and blinding. Well, hopefully we get a great effect on the canvas. I know we will because it's super sparkly. It's just the camera's having fits with how blinding it is, I guess. Okay, so I'm going slowly because there is regular mica in there and the resin art. And I want to give that mica a chance to saturate. For you that are experts, you're probably saying, oh, put the interference on the bottom and the resin art, and you are correct. And you saw how little color I put in there. And I've got this beautiful, beautiful, God, that's gorgeous, pink and this interference blue. That's stunning. That's going to be a pretty color. And here is our mystery gold. I added a tiny bit of mica and some of the Bling It too. Let's hope it allows me to show you on camera Oh yeah. Let's get a close-up of that. I love anything that sparkles, please, yes. Oof. That's a nice color. Now the Mystery Gold and the Dragon Gold both have ground metal in them. So adding that mica just adds a little bit of lift to it, lightens it up. Ground metal doesn't sink, that wasn't the point. It's just, it's a different type of material. They behave differently. Okay, so now we have our Blushing Lily, Fantasy Fuchsia. Get these sticks out of here since they've been properly stirred. My lighter fuchsia. I love that color. Came out beautiful. My gold. And get the stir stick out of the straight Bling It. Let's see what kind of effects we get. I'm back. So I've got my black stone coat. And I'm going to just make sure it hits all four corners of my piece. I do have more resin if I need it. This is when I want a different glove on so I can mess it up. I know I'm going to I'll throw this little cheapy glove away. Not that the black ones are any better, more expensive really. I just had that sitting right there, but I didn't want to mess up my glove. So I'm moving this stone coat around. Just getting the edges. Okay, so I'm thinking similar pattern what I did last time. I'm still learning my restraint, kids. So I'm going to come up this way. I'm going to come up this way. That's right. That comes up this way, and this comes up this way. I don't know why I wanted it up in that corner all of a sudden. I might need more white. Didn't plan that, but want to use big fat lines. I don't want it looking too busy, so I'm going to move this white around. Hope I got enough white. I do have the lighter color and I have the Bling It, so I think I have enough light in here to create some light in my piece. Okay, I didn't intend that. That just kind of flew in. Okay. So, what am I going to do next? I don't know why, but I really love this Blushing Lily right up against that black. I know I can put more somewhere else. But I'm going to start there. because it really looks extraordinary right up against the black, I must admit. Then I'll go with this lighter value. Shall I say darker value, a fuchsia. We have the fuchsia. Gosh, look at that. I don't know if you can see. This is that lighter pink. Gosh, that's pretty. Just do a small vein of that. I'm loving those three colors there. Oh, look where they're, I'm sorry, I'm going to tease you here saying, look where they're mixing, you can't see it. Okay, we have some glare over here. I'm thinking it's this lamp. There we go. Okay, so this is the Blushing Lily, that darker coral. This is the Fantasy Fuchsia, that's that hotter red. This is the Aluminite white. And this is that custom color fuchsia made with the interference blue and just a little scoop of the Fantasy Fuchsia. Boy, is that a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color. Let me even blend some of it down over here. I know, now I'm going to get too busy. I got to be careful. Okay, for the gold, I liked how it laced last time. I just drizzled it, but I'm actually going to do the gold with some intent this time. I'm going to do a small stream. I don't intend on making that whole place, that whole area gold. I promise. But I still want a little stream all the way down here. I have no idea what this is going to do, but here's some of the clear with just the blinging in it. Now it will dry clear. We're going to have to see what it does. I just had a gap here and thought, how interesting would that look? It is very transparent. Not sure what it's going to do. What white I have left in here. This is some more of that fuchsia. I'm just going to pour out all the rest of that fuchsia. I might have to make up some more clearer white for the bottom, so I'm just kind of seeing what I have left, making sure all the little areas are filled in. I don't know, I have an awful lot of this made, but, oh, here we go. I have a gap here. I can fill this in with the coral color that's that Blushing Lily. put some of that Bling It clear here and just kind of see what the effects I get with it. The Bling It Gold with the clear. Okay, so now I need to make up my mind. I think this should be clear and some black. I don't think I have enough black. I'm mixing up just a tiny bit more, if you can see on the right of your screen. Last time I did this, I used a little bit of the stone coat and mostly clear because the canvas was black. I didn't need that much stone coat. I want some for effects. I want to get it on, make sure you get that on nice and clean and tight. A little bit more resin to that mix. So I have some stone coat. I'm kind of losing my shape here. Now comes the time to really move it around. I know I haven't heated up anything yet at all. I'm just trying to get all this resin down and even. I do have some clear I can add if I need to put a little tiny bit of lubrication in here to get it to move. I don't want too much, but not only that, but I'm this one side I got the black right up against it. Here I'm going to put a layer of clear right up against that. So it has a place to float. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put some clear here. This just gives you different effects. I love what happens when the clear pushes on top. It happened right there. God, I hope I have enough left. So I wanted to have a little bit of clear to show you guys that effect at the end. Let's see if I can get that. I probably have enough resin on here. I just need to move it around. Sure. Before I get heating this, I'm going to show you one spot. It excites me. Not sure if it's going to excite you. But this is a future effect I want to play with a lot. So let me get that glove off. Okay, on just a tiny little section. Where the clear hit it, you're getting a tertiary color, a secondary color. Now here on my camera, it looks like a big marble is pushing down. What it is the clear's kind of pushing into the color and creating a multiple depth effect. I just wanted you to know that before we got started, okay? So let's get this warmed up. As I make sure every little hole is filled. Well, I can already see the interference blue effects in that. Okay, I've got plenty of gold for later. I always mix up way too much gold. My bad. Oh my God, can you see that? Holy moly. Well, canvas, I wouldn't have this issue, but it seems to be pulling in the middle. Not sure what I can do to alleviate that. God, I'm loving the effects I'm getting here, though. And all that feathering up there is so pretty. I still have to move this. I just, I don't want it so molten that it just sinks in the center and makes a big old pool. I'm going to give it a minute to work. Not sure how I feel about tilting at this point. I have this one area here. I got something I feel like pushing something up in the middle from underneath, and I don't know how I can do that other than stick my hand under there. Keep it taut. Wow, that's an interesting effect. Not sure if I just blew it or I fixed it. Wow, that's crazy. I think I should finish this. If I'm going to bring it, I'm going to bring it all the way over to the edge until it almost hits my hand here. Spreading in the middle means I'm not losing my top. Not what I was looking for at all, kids. This was not what I was going for. Not in the least. I had no, it's the first time I've used these 15 by 30s, and I figured with it wasn't nearly as wide, I wouldn't have that issue. And I didn't really use that much resin. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that. Not without a full-blown tilt. I want to put something underneath it and let it run from both sides. So I'm going to try putting this cap I have underneath here. I've got two of them. This is nuts, but this would be the same thing you guys would be doing. Ah, it's crazy. And it's like doing a double tilt. It's pushing from each end. Because I was trying to get some of that paint over here, and I'd love to get some of that paint over here. I don't know how long I can get away with this. Wow. This is really interesting. I know you can't see it on the camera yet, but we're getting some really interesting sewing in here. Well, I'm just going to have to do it. I'm going to do a tilt. Put it back up. You poured a little bit of resin off, so it should be okay. I don't know why it did that. I'm going to have to, because I love these canvases. I really do. All what I planned, but how many times did we hear ourselves say that? Oh wow. So now we got some cells popping up here. Cells popping here, cells popping here. We've still had some cells happening here, some cells happening here. Actually don't want to overheat it. I'm getting some nice effects here. Boy, I wanted to drop some of that Bling It on here, but I don't know how much I want to risk that. I am going to lace some of that gold since I have plenty of it. See if I can drizzle a little bit of gold effects in here. Sometimes I just like that random pattern, like it was drizzled right over the top at the end. It's enough to add a little interest without it kind of taking over as gold usually does. I think I need to stop here. I have a little extra resin made up. Not a lot. I probably have enough to do a tile. I need to do that tile test for you guys anyway. Let me get this in the resin chamber. So now I know why people like cradle board. And this, I guess my 16 by 20s just aren't affected that much because they're shorter. So, be right back. Okay, so we have some of the Blushing Lily. That is a really bright, in-your-face coral with interference violet in it and red. It's a red-violet base. Let's see how close up I can get. Every time I do the close-up, I have to move this thing. So there's that color. I have a tiny, 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 tiny bit of black just to run a little vein next to that. I really like how that black and that color pops. Here's what we have left of the Fantasy Fuchsia, not much. I'll warm these up. And then some of that light pink. This is Interference Blue with a little bit of the Fantasy Fuchsia. You see a big difference in that color? I just made a custom color. It's like a pretty Jasmine Pink. That's Fantasy Fuchsia and Interference Blue. I have a teeny weeny bit of white. I know this is probably going to get too busy. Sorry. But up against the white's kind of nice. The Mystery Gold, which I'll kind of just do a vein here, because even in any piece, no matter what, you don't need too much gold in it. The Bling It Gold, I really wanted to put that on top of that piece and show how it could do that effect with clear, but have little sparkles in it. But of course, that canvas didn't behave. You can say the next piece is going to be done with a cradle board if it's that big. So. This thing with some clear, and I have plenty of the Bling It Gold. I can see it's starting to see, it's funny, it's starting to go on top of the other colors, and you can get a secondary color from it. So I guess I'll pour more of the clear with the Bling It Gold here. See what kind of effect that's going to give us. Up here is just straight clear, even though probably some of that Bling It got in it, the Bling It Gold. Pour a little clear in my open spots. Got a couple spots here and there. Just a little drip. Just a little drip. Okay, so you see how that clear is sparkly? Now here is with my light on top. That's what the straight Bling It Gold in the clear does. It's going to create beautiful effects if it's flooded over the top of something, because it's transparent, remember? That gold's going to let the color beneath go through, okay? So let me heat it. I have no idea. This tile's kind of loaded with paint. But my little mini canvas today. Okay, I can't really heat it up any more than that. If I heat it up anymore, I'm gonna lose it, but I think you get the idea. Now this was the Fantasy Fuchsia mixed with the Interference Blue over clear. This, of course, you can tell where all of that clear with Bling It Gold went. This is the actual Mystery Gold, the stuff that looks like the yellow gold right here. That's the Mystery Gold that I mixed up with a tiny bit of Interference and some of the Bling It, because I wanted extra Rockstar Sparkly. I'm loving the lacing patterns that the stone coat's giving me with that blushing lily. And just one more time. Ah, I love things that sparkle, don't you? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. See you next time. Bye-bye.